12, verse 32, where they were mentioned as men who understood the time and knew what Israel needed at that time. So the characteristics of these sons of Issachar from our text is, 1, they had wisdom. They were men of wisdom. They were men who understand how to strategize. They were men who knew what Israel should do at that time. They came to offer themselves. And another notable thing is, out of all the tribes of Judah that came, tribes of Israel that came to submit themselves to David, there were only 200. And out of these 200, the other tribes came to submit themselves to them. The tribe of sons of Issachar, they had more authority, although they were just a very little set of leaders. They knew what Israel should do, so they came and said, the tribe of Issachar were here, and you need us because we know what Israel needs at this time. We know what this season and what this time is about. They were very relevant to that time and that season, and each other tribes of Israel understood their importance. Also, they were scholars. Only a scholar that can come and tell you that they understand why they are here. They understand why you need to be here at this time. They understand what the reason for all of us gathering is for. So they had them being at home from the blessing of Moses. They were meant to be at home. They were meant to stay together. They were meant to learn. They were meant to teach others on what to do and how to go about things. So them just being not being travelers like other tribes of Israel. They were meant to be at home to learn and to be able to pass wisdom, pass understanding to other people. They were diligent in learning what Israel needed, and they understood times, they understood seasons. Also, they were men of discernment. They could tell and could see that David had been anointed by God. They didn't just jump on the bandwagon like every other person. They knew that David was God's anointed, and they were it was very important that they fulfilled purpose by aligning themselves with David. They had spiritual discernment, which is very important as children of God. We should be able to discern moments, we should be able to discern seasons, we should be able to discern why we are where we are at a particular time. Why are we here? We should be able to know why you are there. You're not just there because every other person is there. They were there because they understood why they needed to be there. They were also very loyal. This loyalty came with them aligning themselves, and also from the promise, the blessing of Jacob. It says they will be laborers wherever they are, not because they can't choose to fight like every other tribe. They decided to stay as laborers because they knew, like, oh, this land is fruitful, this land is blessed, this land we can grow crops, we can reap great harvest, we can be helpful to others. But when trouble comes, we are not fighters. We just align ourselves to them and say, okay, well, you can have whatever you want, but just let us be here. That's how they were. So they were very loyal men. And they came to pledge their loyalty. Another time again when they pledged their loyalty is in Judges 15, verse 16, where Deborah mentioned how the sons of Issachar were supported them and Barak. So as children of God, we should not just see it as, oh, like the sons of Issachar could have been very irrelevant as Issachar himself, but they chose to stand out. Generation after generation, they learned, they built themselves, they studied, they understood that they were men of great authority. They were not just ordinary. They didn't see themselves as ordinary. Even though they were small, they never saw themselves as ordinary. They built themselves. They understood that there were particular times and seasons they had to step forward and show that, oh, God had given them these gifts of the spirit of discernment, of spirit of understanding, spirit of wisdom, that they had all those certain skills. They were not fighters, but they used their skills in the best way they could.